morning. Happy Monday morning. Let's just start with the dollar FX and then we'll go to bonds and stocks real quick. This is kind of the area we were highlighting. This is dollar index futures. And whether you're looking at the cash, the index, the DXY, or you're actually looking at futures or the inverse kind of towards the euro, we've been looking for this area in the dollar to hold. Not only is it the trend line, this is more the near-term downtrend that's been kind of in place the last several weeks. Alright, but I think, you want to be a buyer all in this area. Okay, if you were to overlay a 2 standard deviation channel this way, alright, the further that risk or that the dollar comes down here, this risk range, you don't want to get too caught up in okay, this trend line broke, now it's bearish. The big level of support is 92, so if this area doesn't hold and we break the lows from, I guess this was Thursday, Friday, then yes, we're probably going to get a deeper move here to 93, maybe even retest 92. And you got to be a little bit patient how you buy. You can see here this is my average cost. So just in dollar futures, I have a smaller position, but you're gonna have to pick your spots selling the euro. We'll see what the commodities, if the dollar has this further move lower, what that'll do to some of the commodity names we like and some of the things we don't like. So if we get further dollar down, we'll see. We might get a chance to punch out some gold a little higher. We realized some copper this morning. I'll take a look at that in a second. And then oil obviously is probably going to stay bid if we get another move lower. But if this does hold and this is the higher low, which would make perfect sense within this trend to get a higher low here, then there's a lot of upside back here to 95, 96. So if that materializes, then we're going to have a chance to take some profits on oil. So we're kind of at the stage here, and it's the same on a lot of my positions where we're kind of having to stay patient and work the position. Alright, this just is what it is. The market, the dollar wants to back up a little bit. It's being a little ornery from the bullish perspective. If we look at the euro, I sold into the rally, so it's kind of hard to see on this chart, but I did not sell more here at 113.5. I wish I did, but I was trying to stay patient for this 114 area. So sometimes it's a professional miss, right? I'd rather miss than lose money. So a professional miss is, okay, I'm going to be patient instead of trying to sell every uptick that goes against you. You're going to run out of ammo, and your average cost is going to get too far away from you. So I was just being patient and conservative, waiting for more like 114. And you can still see here, this green line is the 8-day moving average. That's ascending, right? It's pointing towards 2 o'clock. You can see how these bands have kind of rolled over. So we still have an intermediate uptrend that we're having to fight or deal with. So being aggressively short is not really warranted. You want to still be patient here. So my average is not very, it's okay, 112.50. I got a lot to add though up here around 114, so I really want to keep a core short, 113, 114 area for the long term. So we'll keep trading it around. I covered some last night that I sold okay last week. This is where I really would have been nice to sell some here to get back down here, but it's okay. It is what it is. So I still have some size here that keeping my average down around this 1250 area. But we just resold. You can see that the hourly is high within the range. So this is a good place to sell. You even have a little bit of a cross on the hourly. I like this. We'll see if price can kind of fail here at the 30. and then continue back lower. Let me pick up the pace a little bit to cover a few more markets. Same thing, pound yen. It's been more of in a range. This is forming a wedge. If you draw a line here, you'll see the bottom of this channel. It's kind of in a consolidation phase. We're back at pi here on the hourly. So I sold at the top of this range, that cycle range, and I'm just going to keep trading this around. This size is a pretty light position because this move is pretty lengthy. Even though the daily cycle is coming back up, we've been riding this thing for a couple months. So if you see this cycle cross on the weekly, this was basically where we captured a lot of this move. And now we're at big picture support, so it's kind of either a, it's kind of sounds stupid to say, but obviously we're either going to bounce, go sideways, and then break lower. There's only the three directions we can really go. But I'm being patient. I think we've just come so far that I think you got to have some time go by before we make another leg lower, or this is going to bounce and kind of retrace some of this move, maybe 135, 136. This is the TMS lower highs, 132.5. I talked about that last week pretty extensively. You get above there, then you're going to have to be cautious, probably have to cut some risk. Dollar yen, good place to sell overnight. Look how high we got on the hourly. We could have sold some right into the 200. That's good for 30 pips. So I did not. I'm still tiny short. Just being patient on the yen. It's August. It's just when you have when you make some money in a nice downtrend, I'm not very quick to just get heavy short again. You kind of gotta let time go by. What else? I want to look at the pound real quick. It's more of the same. It's still in a downtrend. And again, I'm kind of looking for a counter trend move back a little higher. This pi cycle is coming in around 134. These are all these lower highs from the earlier in August and early or mid-July. That's all around 134 also. So that would be the sweet spot, I think. You can see how this 30 on the hourly is starting to turn up. 200 is still kind of pressing everything lower, so we're a little bit trapped in here. It's a little bit more neutral. So I'm gonna wait here. I think this is a bullish kind of setup here. It came up, made a higher low. This is a very bullish candle. I call this a real money candle. You can see how it's wider and larger than a lot of the other most recent candles. This one was pretty bearish. So you have the high here that needs to be taken out. That's at 134. But then this is also showing me a footprint by the bulls. And then here we had a pullback back towards the 30 that held. So if I'm playing this near term, I'm actually like to be long here at the stop below 130.25. And I think this can maybe trade a little bit higher. You take out these lows and maybe we roll back over. But like I said, I think the pound's pretty neutral there. If we look at the bond market, 30s, we're still chopping around, kind of similar with gold. So these higher lows matter here. This is the low from 21st, it's 169.30. Talked about that last week. So this is just a range trade we've been playing from the long side. Right? You buy it when it gets knocked down on the bottom of the cycle, sell into the top of the end of the range, and that's what I did on Friday. Was bought a little bit down here. I took off. I think I have 6 contracts on is all, or I sold one of them out. You can sell a quarter to a fifth here. I sold 1/6, I guess, but I think that makes sense, guys. Just keep trading it around. You're getting a nice push up in here into pi, If you're playing a day trade now today, this is probably where you want to actually start thinking the other way short, just for a trade for 10 ticks or so. You want to be a seller back into this area. I'm actually going to offer, because I'm swing trade long here, I'm going to offer some 72.04 to sell out another piece, and then I'll sell a piece here, piece here, piece here, right? And that's how you play the range trade. So two different time frames to play there. If you were playing the micro level, this was in a wedge, you broke above pi. You kind of play it both ways. I would be a seller here, 172.04, where I'm offering on the intermediate term, and then you could also buy the dip. This is a pretty strong move, so 50% retrace. Day trade, you could buy 71.08, 71.06, see if you can get 10 to 12 ticks. That's how I play 30s. Just a range trade overall, though, but still bullish long term. If you want to look at some of the other parts of the bond market, high yield, we're still core short. Not getting a lot of love the last several months, but I think we're pretty high within the range where the next big move in the high yield market is probably going to be lower. I mean, it would really be something if we pushed all the way back here to pi on the weekly, but we're still at the top of the cycle here, high within the range. The daily is starting to diverge a little. Price is kind of drifting higher. Meanwhile, the stochastic is rolling. So you can see we were covering here at the bottom of the daily cycle and reselling. It's kind of a double top that we're kind of pushing through. This is your regression channel. So again, this has kind of had to be a patient fade. But I think, we've flipped to bullish here basically since March. The wave structure has been positive. I think the next move we're going to see this type of wave structure again. So we'll see. You're going to have to trade it around. I'm a seller up at 88, and any kind of pullback is going to peel some off and just keep trading it around. The real money will be made when this actually flips to lower lows again, and we get a risk-off type of move. So who knows when that can be, who knows what the catalyst will be. But that's my thinking on high yield. Munis is pretty strong. Munis just been a bull market ever since last year. They don't go down. So I wouldn't fight this from the short side at all. We like being long growth slowing, which is good to express that in munis and the long end. So I don't know. You're kind of late buying this. This has been a nice run. If you got a chance to buy some munis on a deeper dip, something like this type of move, maybe back here towards the 200, that makes sense. But currently we don't have any position in muni bonds. And then stocks. Oh, it's just been a boring summer in my opinion. And everybody in the world's looking for this thing to crack. And it's definitely possible. It just hasn't really paid to be sitting around waiting for it to roll over when it's just such a positive wave structure overall. So we'll see. I think the couple of the pivots that matter is 2140 is pretty. That's your TMS on the daily level, so that matters. If you crack that, you can test 2120, or you can get a full move back to the 200 and pi down here at 2040. So that would be a big move, obviously. And then more near term. Here's your near term, intermediate term risk, or excuse me, your near term risk range. That'd be a buyer 2173, 2172 area. Stop below this low. You want to sell the upper end of the range up here, 2183 to 2185. All right, that's the near term. And then the intermediate term, this is 2165 is the key pivot now. So you would want to be a buyer on a swing trade basis down here until that breaks. Then depending on how it looks and how it breaks 2165, then we may be looking at a move to 2141. And then 2190 is obviously the intermediate term highs. So the intermediate term risk range 2165, 2190. Alright, and then Dow futures, we're still playing a core long. This is my last move. I bought here, sold some out. And I'll probably bid for a little bit here and just keep doing the same thing. Alright. Russell. I am short the Russell now. I started a new core short there. It's very small. It's going to be really patient. But I'm trying to catch the higher time frame. Looking for a move lower here. A lower high relative to these highs. Big picture. Maybe we can get a nice move and hold this for several weeks to maybe even several months into the end of the year. If the market does roll over, we get some risk off type of action, then I think this is a good short. So that's kind of how I'm going to play it. Long-term short the Russell, and then a more intermediate and near-term long on the Dow, and I'll trade that around. Alright guys, I got a bunch of stuff to do today. I want to do some analysis work. We got a coaching session later in the afternoon, and again, the options program and webinars coming up on Saturday. For those of you who are new, what's great about the options program, I teach on the model. You get teaching on the model directionally, how I view the analysis and how we work positions and the setups and everything, and how we work the risk. So everything that's in my trading plan, I touch on, and then I also touch on the option strategies I like best, which is your classic vertical spreads and covered call and put writing, but then also the ratio back spreads and put spreads that nobody really teaches on, and I never hear about in the industry, but it's one of the best strategies. So that's what I use for my swing trades, my long-term positions. So I go over that and the model, all day session Saturday, and then I don't just leave you hanging. The whole point is to teach you, and then we're going to actually apply these strategies in real life to make some money. So when you sign up for that, I give you access as a bonus, the Active Trader program, which is $150 a month, so that's about a $900 value. I give you access to that for 6 months, but then you're going to be a part of the options team, which is a tight group that I'm starting, and we're going to apply these strategies and actually make money from them. So you're not just signing up to learn about options and then you go to some hotel and they pat you on the back and say see you later. We're going to stick together for at least 6 months and actually make some money from these plays, and I'm going to help walk you through it from the beginning to end and manage the positions as we go. So if you want more information on the site, partners and I, we're redoing the site also, so we may have some changes there, but just check out the live sessions under the website, the options seminar, and I'll be putting out some stuff on the socials about it later also. Alright guys, good luck out there. I'll talk to you a little later.